have a serious question. What's going on with all the spiritual psychosis right now? I normally see.
Oh, hi. Hello. I can answer this, okay? But this video is going to be very long and very detailed. And hopefully, if you're wanting to stop spiritual psychosis, you'll share it, okay? So there is New Age and there is spirituality. People come over to spirituality and New Age and think they know what they're doing, and they don't because they weren't raised spiritual and they picked up all these New Age beliefs. New Age facilitates in driving people mad and them going crazy. Why? Well, because of the fact that New Age has very harmful beliefs, such as you create your own reality. Things that you think about, you manifest. You're ascending constantly and you're moving into a new world. These are all very harmful beliefs that New Age has, and it's much like a cult. Spirituality, this is the difference between spirituality and New Age. Spirituality believes in the law of Dharma. We follow all the universal laws, which means you cannot manifest unless you take action, meaning we have to put forth the energy and time into it to actually have it manifest. Meaning, like, if you want a job, okay, you have to create the resume. You have to get the credentials to get that job. That's the law of action with the law of manifestation, okay? People come over to New Age and go, oh, you can manifest without the law of action. If you don't follow all the universal laws, people in spirituality who were raised spiritual know this, such as myself. I came from 3 generations of spirituality, not New Age, okay? I come from spirituality. This means that I know that you have to follow all the universal laws in order to stay out of spiritual psychosis. And people don't do that. They come over and they start picking and choosing which universal laws that they can basically believe. And then they screw up all the way up and they get in psychosis. And this is because of the fact that they start believing that all of their bad thoughts are going to manifest. And our body is set up to think like, oh, if you think about that or whatever and it hurts you or it's scary, you're going to think about it more, okay? Because your body's trying to protect itself. And so people lose their freaking minds, okay, when they come over because they're like thinking about bad things, thinking that they'll manifest, thinking that they can manifest in low vibrations because of New Age people like Alan Watts and others, okay, who push this belief and push this rhetoric and dogma, okay? And people who were raised spiritual do not believe this because we don't believe that you can like create your reality. There's no scientific proof of that. We only have proof of the fact that we can actually manifest in high vibrations. If we have gratitude and appreciation, then good things happen because of the fact that we feel good. So we go out there and we take action for good things to happen. Whereas if you are having bad things happen, like curses and hexes, those are not actually manifestations. Those are energy manipulation. And so that's an entirely different thing. Okay. And so people come over here and think they know what they're doing, and they don't. And they don't follow what's called the law of Dharma. What's the law of Dharma? Well, the law of Dharma states that basically everything's predestined. Okay. People who were raised spiritual follow this universal belief because we follow all the universal beliefs. So this is the universal law of obedience. Okay. So we follow the law of obedience and we know that everything's predestined. Therefore, we're not creating our reality because we are running into soulmates and karmic partners and other things and stuff. And so we're constantly healing and growing through every single lifetime and evolving. And this is our mission on here, is to heal and grow and evolve, not to ascend to a new earth. Okay. It's more just we're healing, growing, evolving, and learning constantly. That's the law of Dharma. All right. New Age makes it where it's like, oh, you're ascending, you're bringing in a new earth. It's all going to be love and light and positivity, and other things aren't going to be able to exist. And you have to clear out the old and you have to clear it all out. And it's like, no. Okay. We have to have the dark with the light. Okay. We can't have the dark without the light, or we can't have the light without the dark. This is yin and yang. All right. And so because of the fact that we can't have one without the other, when they're trying to clear out all the darkness, it doesn't work. And we all know that in spirituality, if you're new to this, okay, what we resist persists. And so when you try to clear out the dark shows itself in a very ugly way, because we have to have that balance. The universe is always, always trying to create harmony. That's what the law of assumption is about. The law of assumption works because if we assume something and live as though it's actually happening, then the universe will create harmony and fix that gap and be like, oh, okay, like this has actually happened now. So people come over to New Age and are like, law of assumption. Okay, if I assume this and I assume this, then it'll happen. And they drive themselves crazy because then they're like, well, what if I assume this? Am I assuming this? And they start questioning everything. Now that comes from the law of relativity. The law of relativity has to be followed as well. What's the law of relativity? Well, the law of relativity states basically that there's good and there's bad, but neither exists with the law of relativity, meaning there's no good and there's no evil. It's all just high vibrations and low vibrations. And it's all how you look at it. It's all how you look at things is how you decide whether or not it's going to be. And so that's the law of relativity, meaning there's really no good or evil. It all just is. It's all neutral. Okay. The law of relativity states everything's neutral. If you come across people who were like, well, that's bad energy and those are demons and that's all bad. Okay. They're looking at it like it's evil and good, and they're coming over from other religions trying to exist in spirituality. That's a highly dangerous mindset to have, is this is good and this is evil. Okay. Because we have what's called blessings in disguise and we have other things. Now, the other problem is that people come over to spirituality, but actually get in New Age instead. And in New Age, basically they push, hang on. Okay, sorry. I was saying that New Age basically has the belief that you can manifest in low vibrations. You can't. Okay. In spirituality, we have what's called the law of vibration. All right. Everything is energy. Okay. And energy actually gets stuck and dense and doesn't move in low vibrations. Okay. This is why people get lazy and depressed and everything, because they get in low vibrations and they don't become productive. They don't move. Their life just kind of stays stuck and stagnant. And this is why people pick up things like guns and like all these other things and stuff, because of the fact that they literally have to do it themselves because they can't manifest it. So spirituality understands and knows, because the universal law of all the other universal laws, basically, you can't manifest in low vibrations. You can only manipulate energy. Okay. And people who go over to New Age start believing they can manifest in low vibrations. They hear voices, they do things, and they go absolutely bonkers because they start to listen to things on the outside that tell them false things. Now, if you were raised in spirituality, okay, like I come from 3 generations, like I said earlier, we are taught the answers are not on the outside, they're on the inside. We come from all the same spiritual source, okay? And so because of that, the answers are on the inside, okay? We never look to the outside, where New Age teaches that all the answers are on the outside. And spirituality teaches that they're on the inside. When people move over to New Age, they lose their minds because they're looking on the outside for answers from the universe, through God, through angels, through all of these things and stuff, when they don't seem to understand that it's on the inside. This is how we stop spiritual psychosis. And this is how I was raised to stop spiritual psychosis. Okay. And when people come over from religions, they're like, oh my God, that's the devil. That's evil. Well, that happens because people don't practice the law of polarity, meaning there's good. For every good, there's bad. But people seem to still not practice the law of relativity when it comes to low and high vibrations. And then lastly, people don't practice the law of polarity. They go, oh, everything's all love and light on the other side. They have a very scary experience because they open up their third eye and remember and they don't practice the law of relativity, and then they lose their minds. And that is how spiritual psychosis happens, because of harmful New Age beliefs. People who weren't raised in spirituality don't know what they're doing, and then they lose their mind when they have experiences and understand that the other side has dark too. Have a good one.